Good day, class. I want to go over real quickly some items from the syllabus and some additional items from Canvas so you get familiar with the course a little bit easier. The syllabus quick review is for summer 2021 for Psychology 400, History and Systems of Psychology. Contact information. Well, Dr. Anthony Hubert is my name. The course again is 400 D1, History and Systems of Psychology. We'll be having virtual office hours this particular term. We're going to have office hours. We can meet by appointment Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 4 to 5 p.m. via Zoom or some other virtual media. This course is offered only online during this particular class, internet delivery only. My phone number 910-672-2611 and my email address are located there as well. Course description and textbook. This description of the course is as follows. The History and Systems of Psychology is a survey of the development of psychology in a historical and social cultural perspective, a review of the major historical and contemporary systems of psychology, and their relation to the philosophy of science and to the selection of problems and methodologies. You've probably taken many courses of psychology already by the time you get to this class. Here we'll look at some of the foundations to those ideas and concepts you've already learned. The textbook being employed here is by Farrell Martin, or Martin Farrell, 2014, Historical and Philosophical Foundations of Psychology, the first edition. The learning outcomes that we will hopefully be able to achieve. Upon completion of this course, students will be able to, and there's a whole list of items here, let's read a couple of them, analyze the philosophical background from which the various schools of thought in psychology evolved, create a narrative of the view of how science progresses, including ideas of the empiricist, Popper, Kuhn, Lakatos, and Feyerabend. As well as we can see at the very end, I want to highlight this item there, number 10, program learning outcome, which is going to be a 50 multiple choice questions that represent the knowledge gained in the psychology major. The PLO is more of a test for our Department of Psychology. We want to figure out how much of you have been able to retain information from other classes. Mastering these learning outcomes. Students are expected to spend at least 6 hours a week beyond classroom instruction on the following activities to master the course learning outcomes. Read and take notes on the identified chapters of the textbook, associated supplemental lecture notes, and any supplemental reading material. View and take notes on identified videos. Gather and organize relevant information to utilize for understanding material. Create a summary of key points document to aid in studying for chapter quizzes and module tests. Gather and organize relevant information for the completion of course essay assignments. Complete discussion forums and other Canvas-related assignments, for example, puzzles. Communicate with fellow students on identified topics via discussion forums. Study for quizzes and tests, and of course, ask questions. How will you be evaluated? Course evaluation criteria and grading. Well, the value of quizzes and tests, the maximum attainable points or weight for these activities are listed here. We are having 4 tests, 18 quizzes, 3 essays, and 6 forums. So the 4 tests will be in the form of true, false, multiple choice items, I believe. 18 quizzes, you'll be able to have multiple attempts on each chapter quiz that will be provided to you, and 3 essays. There is an essay rubric that we'll go over real shortly, and there's a grading tool provided at the end of your syllabus as well, the one that I actually use to grade your essay performance. And then there's 6 forums or activities. So either there'll be 6 forums or there'll be additional activities there too. You can see the different weights. For tests, 40% of your grade will be determined by tests, 35% by the quizzes, 20% by the essays, and 5% by the 6 forums and or activities. The overall letter grade for the course completion will be based on the average points from the activities listed above. The following system will be used to assign the letter grade. We have a 10-point system here, meaning 90 is of A, 80 B, 70 C, 60 D, and of course below that would be an F. Here's the rubric for discussion forums. It's just a rough tool that I employ to try to give me some idea, are you meeting the objectives of the particular discussion forum. You can see it's broken up into two sections here. Are concepts clearly and adequately addressed, with some items to give me a little bit of background as to what I should be looking for. And then the second one at the bottom there is writing clear. Was the writing clear and easy to follow? Was writing free of errors? The key thing I want to make sure you understand for these discussion forums is that we want you to write in an academic fashion, meaning don't use text speech or things that you use when you're texting friends or things of that nature. Complete sentences, all that type of stuff, and even provide, if necessary and appropriate, references and citations. Here's the excerpt from a discussion, for a rubric for the short essays that you'll be doing. From the one that we can see, there's a rating, a scale goes from 4 to 1. The assignment basics, were the instructions followed for that particular assignment. Sources and articles. Did you use other sources, for example, or did you just rely totally on the textbook or lecture notes? Of course, the more sources that you utilize, it really shows that you've gone beyond what we are beyond just the textbook, and you've done some research on your own in order to gather information about a particular topic, which is good. Summary items, we have theme and flow. Did the writing that you produced, did it seem to flow well, or was it awkward? Background, foundation of understanding. What you have written and the concepts and ideas that you described, were they accurate, demonstrating your understanding of the material? And reference sheet. The idea with the reference sheet is if there is going to be references, and there should be references at the end of your essay, did you properly and accurately list the references? Were they alphabetical? Okay, did they have the right type of indentations? Those types of things. But on top of that, we also look in the document itself, your essay, to determine if you have the citations properly formatted as well. Here is the first part of Module 1 in your syllabus schedule. So you can see that we have the whole module listed from June 1 to June 14th. And it should be noted that there will be a little bit of grace period there, and that there's going to be a test, usually due 2 days after we have the close of that particular block of time, so around June 16th, I believe. So Part 1, Philosophy of Science, it lists some of the key items and questions that will be covered. And then on the far right here, we have the welcome and orientation form, the chapter quizzes for this particular part of the module. Also, an item to review APA resource videos and then take a quiz as well. And we see also the discussion form on the philosophy of science, briefly describe how science progresses. The target deadline for these items will be June 7th. Just to note here for your understanding, we have the deadline for June 7th. That just to keep you on track, saying that that information should be completed hopefully by June 7th, even though it will remain open until the close of the particular module. Here we look at Canvas real quickly. When you go to modules on Canvas, you'll see something listed as module number 1. Module number 1 goes from June 1st to June 14th, and it will close June 16th, which will be the date for the exam for that particular module, closing at 11:59 p.m. And underneath there, you see the Module 1 a little bit more detail. So let's look at the first part of Module 1 schedule listed on Canvas. And here we go. So here we see the following thing. We have week and then lectures. Under week and lectures, you can see June 1st through 7th, and then I have provided to you, which should be available to you now, the lectures that have been utilized for these particular topics that we'll be covering during this first week. Lecture 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, 2.2, 3.1, and 3.2, covering the first 3 chapters of the course. In the middle column here, we have lecture notes, set 1, set 2, set 3. These are notes that are somewhat supplemental to the textbook, including some information from them, but also supplemental information as well that you can use to review in prep. And then to the far right here in the last column, we have the links to the welcome and orientation form, which I'm sure you guys have already started to complete, the Karl Popper video, Chapter 1 quiz homework, so you can access from the table of schedule on your Canvas site all these information and all of this assignments and activities. All right, that's it. Take care.